Do your headlights look a lot like this? Considering you clicked on the video, I bet that they do. Would you prefer it a lot more if they looked like this? Considering you clicked on the video, I bet you would. Well, great news for you. My name is Braden, you're watching MotorBiscuit, and I'm going to show you the cheapest, fastest, and easiest way to restore your car's faded plastic headlights, and it's going to cost you less than $15. Best of all, you're going to have enough materials left over to do this over and over again, no matter how many cars you own, within reason. Or if you're like me, and you have more cars than is considered within reason, you might have to spend a little more than 15 bucks. Either way, let's dig into this. Restoring your car's plastic headlights from zero to hero is not a difficult task, but it is one that requires a lot of patience, especially if you're starting off with headlights that look this bad. The first step to restoring your headlights is wet sanding, and if you're starting with headlights that look this bad, you're going to want to use around 600 grit sandpaper, and you're still going to need to spend plenty of time making sure you've zeroed in on all the problems and made everything perfectly smooth. Of course, this process is possible on a car, but if you're going to do it on the car, make sure you mask off all the paint surrounding the headlights so that you don't accidentally start sanding into it. A great way to make sure you have everything done correctly is to periodically dry the light and look for any further imperfections that you may have missed while it was wet, because it does disguise them pretty well when it's soaked. A great rule of thumb is to spend about 15 to 20 seconds wet sanding the width of the sandpaper across the entire surface of the headlight. This way you're spending 15 to 20 seconds wet sanding every portion of the headlight, but you do want the entire surface that's facing outward to be smooth as possible. Once you've wet sanded and dried and wet sanded again a few times until you finally feel like you've got the perfect prepared surface, you're going to want to dry off your headlight and let it sit for no less than 48 hours before the next step. Now, if you're thinking this doesn't look very pretty or shiny yet, that's because the next step is the game changer. Once you've allowed the headlight to properly dry, it's time to spray it with a UV protectant clear coat of your choice. The one I used was Rust-Oleum, but just make sure you have a good quality clear coat that is automotive grade and has UV protection, because if you don't have UV protection, your headlights are just going to start yellowing and fogging up again virtually instantly. So, choosing a high quality clear coat is extremely beneficial and will expand the longevity of your headlight repair. Of course, as with any paint, you want to apply in a few light coats until you finally have proper and adequate coverage and your headlights are starting to look beautiful and clear, and boom, that is it. The cheap two-step process to restoring your headlights, and they will last very long so long as your clear coat choice is adequate. Now, of course, you can stop here because these look beautiful, but if you're still watching, you just might be the kind of car person that likes to go the extra mile with everything they do. If you want buttery smooth, perfect headlights with insane longevity, and you can really take pride in something that you've done by hand, keep watching, because we're about to teach you how to take this to the next level. The first step, once again, is letting the assembly dry entirely. I waited about 72 hours before starting this next process to ensure that the clear coat was perfectly dry. Then it's time to go back to the wet sanding. Now, of course, your choice for the sandpaper is going to be very important here, because you don't accidentally want to sand all the way through the clear coat, because then you're kind of creating a moot point here. I went with 1000 grit. And after spending plenty of time with 1000 grit, making sure every surface was smooth and level, I moved my way up to 1500 grit, then 2000 grit, and then up to 3000 grit, which is a grit that people argue is virtually doing nothing but polishing at this point, but that's kind of the goal anyway. So feel free to skip this step. You have more than prepared the surface for the next step at 2000 grit. Up next, we are going to use an automotive grade cutting compound. Cutting compound is effectively a very fine liquid sandpaper and not a polish, so you're going to really want to put some elbow grease into this to get the best surface possible. Really take your time and make sure you hit everything with a good amount of pressure and have everything completely level and even throughout the entire surface of the headlight, and then once it has started to dry and haze over, buff it out and look at your beautiful shiny headlight. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? There's one more step that could really take this to the next level, and you are correct. In this particular case, I finished the headlight off with another layer of UV protection in the form of a liquid detailing spray that also features ceramic coat protection. Finishing your UV protectant clear coat with another hard layer of UV protection is going to ensure that your beautiful new headlights look beautiful and shiny for probably the entire time you own the car. This is an extremely effective way to permanently repair and restore your headlights. So there you go. As is the case with most things in the world, the result is directly related to the amount of effort you're willing to put in. If you want to go the extra mile, sand and buff and polish and everything, make everything look and feel absolutely perfect and smooth, please do. But if you just want to sand it smooth and then put a fresh coat of clear on it and have your headlights looking more than good enough, that's perfectly understandable too. At any rate, we hope you enjoyed this quick little tutorial, little DIY style video from us over here at MotorBiscuit. If you like it, leave in the comment, because we have more DIY and automotive repair stuff coming your way. In fact, it's pertinent to the car that this headlight belongs on. So if you're an intuitive automotive fan and you know what this headlight is from, drop that in the comments too, because we have some videos with this car coming soon. In the meantime, be sure to follow us on Instagram at MotorBiscuit Official. Follow us on Twitter at Biscuit Motor, and you can check out all kinds of automotive entertainment stories and news at MotorBiscuit.com. For now, my name is Braden, and I will see you in the next video.